guys, and welcome to another Dark Rain video. This time I'm going to be showing you my fire DPS POV in the 8-man raid League Hall lockdown. Now the reason I've put this video together for you is to try and show you how I've been using fire's advanced DPS mechanic in 8-man content, as this particular advanced mechanic has a lot of hate on my server. Every person I talk to about it tells me it's awful crap, I can't use it very well, it does bad damage. So what I'm going to do is talk through what I've been doing in order to maximise my damage. So you've already probably seen the loadout on my bar, but I'll run you through at any rate. So this is it from left to right. Fiery weapon, absorb heat, flame cascade, mass detonation, inferno and overheat. Now as soon as a fresh group of ads comes in or I start a new fight, I start off my rotation with Inferno, I clip its animation with Fiery Weapon. From there, I hit Absorb Heat, I jump cancel its animation, then I hit Flame Cascade. Once you hit Flame Cascade, you will see a red explosion emit from the base of your toon like it just happened then on Vanessa. Once that happens, you know that you have max volatility active, which means that attacks such as Mass Det will do more damage. But bear in mind, it doesn't mean you have thermal absorption active. In order for you to be aware that that is up and running, your toon will have a blue flame emitting from the top half of your body. Now make sure when you're using fire and you're using this style of DPS, that thermal absorption is active, because if it isn't, you will drop your entire power bar very quickly, and it's going to take two very gifted trolls to power you. So I've talked through the initial aspect of my rotation, which is Inferno, clip the animation with Fiery Weapon, hit Absorb Heat, jump cancel it, then hit Flame Cascade, and max volatility is active just like it is there. And as soon as you've done that, start rotating through Mass Det and keep it going, keep it constantly going down the range and it will keep punching out damage. Now if you get interrupted like I just did, hit Flame Cascade, make sure volatility and thermal absorption remains active, because if it doesn't and it drops, you will do no damage, and I do mean no damage. It is ridiculous how much damage Mass Det will do once volatility is active, but once it's turned off, it does next to nothing. Now, as you're cycling through Mass Detonation, eventually Inferno and Fiery Weapon will come off cooldown. As soon as they do, you hit them. Keep the enemy burning. It will give Mass Det a higher base damage every time you attack it. Now, what I've been doing with Overheat is what I'll do is I'll hit Mass Det, and as soon as Mass Det finishes, I hit Overheat and put it straight into the enemy. Now make sure if you're using this on a group of ads that you try to drop it on the enemy who has the highest health at that time. If you drop it on someone who's ready to die, it's not going to cause any decent damage over time, and you'll essentially waste it until it comes off cooldown again. So that's pretty much the basics of the power set covered there, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you what I've been doing to maximise my damage if, say, you're interrupted for whatever reason or volatility drops, etc, etc. So, for example, if you are interrupted during Mass Detonation, do not try to cast it again. If you do, the likelihood is, by the time you've finished its cast, thermal absorption and your volatility will drop. So if interrupted during Mass Detonation, hit Flame Cascade as soon as you recover, and it will maintain your thermal absorption and your volatility, then go straight back into Mass Detonation. Now let's say you get interrupted whilst casting Mass Det and you don't recover in time. If that is the case, you need to assess the situation, see what's going on. So have a look at the enemy. Are they still on fire? Is their burning power interaction still down? If it is, all you've got to do is hit thermal absorption, jump cancel it, and then hit Flame Cascade. That way you've got your two power interactions up and running, so you'll receive power back when you cast a power, and if you decide to hit Mass Det, which you should be doing, you will actually get the increased damage potential from it as you have laid down volatility. If you find once you've recovered and max volatility and your thermal absorption has dropped, but the enemy isn't yet on fire, then that's quite unlucky, and you're going to have to wait until Inferno and Fiery Weapon come off cooldown, and you're going to have to cast them again to set it all up. That's your biggest weakness as fire when using the advanced mechanic. If you get interrupted and you can't get recovered and then put it all back up again. Now, to be honest, that doesn't typically happen a great deal of the time. The only time that's going to happen is if you drop Inferno and Fiery Weapon and then are knocked out. And then obviously your powers don't cool down whilst you're down and recovering. So when you stand up, you're going to have a very hard time putting out the damage until Inferno and Fiery Weapon are back off cooldown. But it only lasts for 12 seconds, so it's not a great deal of time for you to hang around. Now, if you find you are dropping quite a lot, I recommend speccing in to some weapon attacks. That way, whilst these two powers are on cooldown, at least you can cause some damage with your weapon. Now, when I'm using fire, I use it specifically for its advanced mechanics, so I don't spec into any of that. Mainly because I wanted to test its advanced mechanic, because I'd heard such terrible things about it, but it is nowhere near as bad as anyone will make out to you. As long as you get your rotation nice and tight, your power interactions down all the time, and you are rifling through mass debt like a madman, you will punch out decent damage. Right guys, don't forget to stick around for the rest of the video. It's got about 5 minutes remaining, and I'll show you what this sort of power is doing against a couple of bosses. Absolutely is putting the hurt down. The other DPS in this particular run are 2 hardline, 1 mental and 1 electric. There is a scoreboard midway through this video which you've already seen, and there is also one right at the end. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video guys. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We are Dark Rain, and as always, we'll see you in game.